I've literally just changed and rearranged the list again. This has been a hard year. Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased. Now, it is one of the final lists of the year. It's the number one sneakers for 2023. If you can't hear my voice, I'm a little bit sick. But we still got to get through it. The show must go on. I did have a completely different idea to be doing this year. Every shoe that I have on the list, I know someone that has it or know where to see it, and basically was going to showcase it and do it in different spots and all this type of stuff. I was going to shoot the whole thing down in Sydney, and you can hear me. I even at one point was going to do it live because I wanted to do it Saturday, but couldn't figure out the live setup to make it look as good live as it would like later on. So we're just gonna go with this. And look, it's been a crazy year in terms of sneakers. Like Asics, New Balance, Saucony in the conversation all over the board, right? Jordan 1's the most hyped sneaker of the last 10 years, sitting everywhere. It's crazy. SB could arguably have like 4 or 5 pairs in a top 10 list. That's how crazy they've been going this year. But for me, this isn't, say, my personal list. This isn't like things necessarily I was able to cop, although I do have probably more on this list than, say, previous years. For me, it goes off like, you know, the overall shoe, the impact in the scene, more so than just, like, obviously it is my opinion, but you get what I mean. And I wanted to have a bit of variety in there too. There's certain pairs that, you know, won't be in most people's top 10, but I feel like need to be acknowledged. So let's get the honourable mentions out of the way. First honourable mention, this shoe caused a massive stir with the Complex Sneaker of the Year list. Now don't get me wrong, this is probably the most perfect Air Force One to ever be made. The quality of materials, the backstory behind it, insane. Something that I've had an eye on since, when did the Lean Back video come out? Like 05 maybe? Crazy. It's great to see, you know, a shoe that was essentially made on the low, a dude got fired over. Now anyone can have it. And like I said, probably one of the greatest Air Force Ones of all time. But this year had so much heat, it had to go honourable mention. The next honourable mention, I know a lot of people were upset when I said the Asics Gel Kayano 14 was overrated. For me, it was like, it was just the resale culture getting into that and like the Jown stuff. I still don't understand Jown collabs. For me, they don't really do much, and then whatever. But the Kayano Legacy X GmbH, more so the black and white pair for me, I feel like is a really incredible shoe. I've seen them in hand, they just didn't have my size. But yeah, honourable mention on the Sneaker of the Year list. I think this is an incredible shoe. I can't wait to see what Asics is doing next year. I know they dropped like a bunch of stuff on the Asics website quite recently, more of their own little packs, so make sure you check them out. Another honourable mention is the Jordan 3J Balvin. Now again, this shoe is on most people's top 10. For me, I like it, I don't mind it, I just feel like I ain't feeling the rainbow. Like, I've seen them in hand, they are nice. But again, like this year was so crazy. I can't put them on the list. I just can't. The April SB Dunk is another honourable mention. Incredible shoe. One of my favourite skaters. His company got a SB Dunk collab. He's obviously got the Shane SB as well. But yeah, these are insane. Really tough to get. I honestly thought these would be a little bit easier to get. Not the case. Another honourable mention. At the time these dropped, I would have said for sure they're on the Sneaker of the Year list. The details, the quality, everything like that. It's the Bape 30-year anniversary Adidas Forum. Now the details, the quality on this, the packaging, everything about it is insane. They went up well above levels. This should be on the most underrated list. I don't know if I put it on there, I can't remember, but it definitely should be. It sold out initially, but then like came back and it was on special. So I don't know if that's just clever marketing from Adidas to make it seem more important than what it was, but for me, incredible shoe. The colorway is really nice. Forum lows are one of my favorite silhouettes from Adidas, and these are just incredible. If you get a chance to get them in hand, check them out. If you can check out the box and all the details, like, comes with everything. But like I said, like at some point at the start of the year when I unboxed these, I was like, these could be sneaker of the year. I think for Oliver P, Ollie P had, it was either right up there on his list or it was number one, I can't remember, but great pair. The last honorable mention is the Supreme SB Dunk Low. Now, these were a really nice shoe. I just feel like, especially over here in Australia, I don't think they released. So, it kind of kills them off. They're a beautiful shoe. I feel like there wasn't as much impact. The release was kind of weird, and who knows, they may actually do a proper release, but honorable mention. But we get into the official list, and I've got to try and work this out because I did initially print out a list of what I've got, and I work on this throughout the year, right? Like anytime something crazy comes out, add it to the list just in case I forget it. So there are things here, you know, right throughout the year that some you may have forgotten about, some you may not have. But at number 10, we talked about the 30th anniversary of Bape and how they did it with the Forum. It was another anniversary year, but this time with Nike and the Air Max Plus, aka the TN. For me, this shoe here, the release that went along with it, the worldwide impact, the book release, the clothing capsules, everything like that, it was a huge year for the TN, and this was the piece de resistance. It is an OG colorway that way, flip it around, another colorway that way. In one shoe, absolutely incredible. They had the pop-up shop in Western Sydney, and that was one of the most fun times I've had all year. So definitely had to be on the list, number 10. This one, at number 9, I absolutely lost my mind for this collab. And on a personal list, it'd probably be higher, but as the overall impact and everything like that, looking at it in an unbiased way, you can probably already see it. It's the corn pack. I mean, you just look at the packaging, right? Looks like a roadie case, stickers, everything like that. Takes you back to that 2000s new metal skateboarding era. Got the super modified there, Adidas on the front, Adidas on the back, corn on the front. Came with a bunch of stickers, metal guitar picks, and it honestly took two worlds and collided them together. Years ago, Adidas were never going to give Korn a collab like this. As much as they wanted to do it, they were always wearing Adidas. That was the cool stuff at the time. They modified their own jumpsuits with sequins. They made a kilt, everything like that. For it to come around full circle in this collab, it's kind of like the Fat Joe thing, but for me, I feel like this was a much bigger thing because maybe it's the nostalgia, but it also seemed to have a lot of impact in terms of bringing people that know nothing about the sneaker world and them just being metal fans, corn fans, whatever, and them just being completely just shocked by the entire process of this. And then the website got botted so hard that they decided to make more, and the people that had their orders initially cancelled get first dibs at the next lot. It's crazy, man. It was something out of left field, something that me and Rorks were talking about. Like, what was that Adidas joint that Jonathan Davis used to wear all the time? Fast forward, they bring the campus out not long after me saying that, and then they obviously do this collab. It's the perfect collab, I've said it. I'm not one of them people that it has to be a collab for me to care about a sneaker at all. Anti-hype beast. This, crazy. At number 8 on the list, we spoke about Asics New Balance Saucony, that Y2K runner movement, that mesh runner thing, you know, mesh boy summer, whatever Welty and that was saying the other day. But it honestly has. The sneaker industry has changed so much dramatically in the last year or so that it had to be acknowledged. And for me, I feel like the number one silhouette, people can argue about this, they'll mention 1906s, all types of different things. For me, it's the NYC. And you can talk about the Awake collabs, which were the initial ones that launched this silhouette. For me, I never really liked the colorways on them. There's a bunch of other collabs that have come out. I think there's a Bodega collab. I don't like them. I feel like this is the best NYC that has come out. So we can say the NYC as a whole. I feel like the Oyster Grey is the best colorway. Just neutral, goes with everything. Since I bought them, I've been wearing them so much. Like, just incredibly comfortable, based on OG sort of Nimbus styles mixed with Cumulus. And they throw in some of my favorite Nimbus features in the shoe. So, just a great looking shoe. Something I've always wanted from Asics. Back in the day, I used to buy a lot of Asics for my training gear. And they were always comfortable, but I wanted something like this. I wanted something that you could wear just out. And the NYC is the perfect silhouette for that. Number 8 on the list. At number 7 on the list, look, Jordan 1s have taken a huge hit this year. There is only probably a couple of Jordan 1s that you could say people cared about realistically as a whole within the sneaker community. Obviously, you're going to have those fringe customers that make up the majority of it, but the ones that be talking on the internet and everything like that, whether they matter or not, it hasn't been it. They've been sitting on shelves. Now, as a sneakerhead, someone who can walk into a store and purchase a shoe and maybe have a think about, then come back and buy it, perfect time for me, because I still love the shoes. But at the point that these came out, I was like, I've got enough Jordan 1s. I don't need any more Jordan 1s. And even this pair, I was like, I don't need them. It's just a random colorway. It makes no sense. Then I started seeing on feet shots. People started telling me about them. I saw them in hand. I had to have them. It is the Jordan 1 Palomino. The quality of materials on these are absolutely insane. You got boot leather on the brown, a really nice black leather there. It's just a perfect winter type shoe. Because they are a Jordan 1, I haven't got around to lacing them yet. But believe me, when it starts getting colder again, not just me sounding like I've got a cold, these will be coming out for sure. Yeah, look, in a year, like I said, Jordan 1s have gone from the top of the food chain to like Asics and New Balance are selling out quicker than Jordan 1s. Go figure. But like I said, as a sneakerhead, being able to buy a pair of shoes in store, it's an amazing time of the year. Like the Royal Reimagine ones, they're not going to be on this list here. They're not in Sneaker of the Year, obviously, but crazy shoe. You can buy them right now, 30% off at Nike. Crazy. But number 7 on the list. Number 6 on the list, we mentioned it was a huge year for Nike SB. They came out from the gate with joints that people thought were going to be Sneaker of the Year. Now, I've already said with the Jarritos dunk that I felt like it was pretty overrated. This shoe right here didn't seem to have as much hype until it came out. People started seeing it on feet and everything like that. And then, like, the resale on this, there's absolutely no way I'm ever buying a pair. But it is the Yuto Horigome SB Dunk. Now, for me, I'm a skateboarder. I love skateboarding. I love SLS, everything like that. So Yuto Horigome is like at the peak within competitive skateboarding in street, right? So I've been a fan for ages. I remember the first time watching him just going, this kid is like a robot. He shows no emotion and then just does the most crazy tricks flawless. It's insane. The more he gets older, you see a bit more personality. He signs to April with Shane and we're off to the races. He gets his own dunk this year. It's probably one of the best looking SB dunks to come out. There wasn't as much hype. The impact for this wasn't crazy, but it's like one of them, if you know, you know. Like, this came out middle of the year. I'm hearing no mention of it on anyone's list, but you cannot deny this is one of the best looking sneakers of 2023. Number 6 on my list. And number 5 on the list, Asics got another one. 2 pairs in the top 10 this year so far. Can't give anything away. Maybe there's another one, maybe there's not. This pack, you could say, had, again, 2 different communities going absolutely nuts over it, and had me entering a raffle system that I had no idea about on the Kith app. I might have given it away, but it is the Asics Gel Light 3 OG shape, reimagined shape. I can't remember which one it is. Maybe reimagined's getting thrown around, but X Kith, X-Men. Now, I know Kicking It with G said this a bunch of times. I know a bunch of people have said this. When you look at the packaging, when you look at everything, you hear that 90s animated series theme song. Now, that's what I grew up on. Grew up on comics, everything like that. These were perfect. The mystery box thing.
No, not so fast, Lois. A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those.
It could be anyone. I still am now following, like, on eBay. I'm looking on StockX. I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, do I go the mystery box or do I just buy the one I want? I'm so torn. For me, I feel like the 2 colorways that no one was really feeling was the Storm and the Beast initially. They're the 2 that I wanted. Everyone wanted like the OG Wolverine and all this because it was more limited, and I'm looking at that. As a wearable pair, I'm never going to wear those colorways for me personally. But the Beast being a Bulldogs colorway, the white with the black with Storm, just so easy to wear. And every single pair was different in terms of the quality, in terms of the materials, everything like that. It was such a wild concept. It had everyone in the world going nuts. Whether it be sneaker world, the comic book world, pop culture in general, influences, everything like that. I mean, poor Sean Go got like 4 different beasts. Like, if I did that, I don't know. If I ended up with like 4 Gambits, I would have been so pissed. That was another one I didn't like. But the pack overall, everything like that, just perfectly done. I hope they do it again and like do it with villains, or maybe like do something with Deadpool. I don't know. I just really like Deadpool. But number 5 on the list. And number 4 on the list, when this initially dropped, I was like, yo, this is sneaker of the year, 100%. And I probably said that multiple times with things here. I definitely said it about the Corn Pack. I definitely said about the Utos and the Asics. But it is the New Balance 990 V6 Baklava. It has been said so many times that I feel like I don't even need to say it, right? These colors should not work, but my God, do they work. The price, straight up. It has stayed straight up. I like the 990 V2. That's probably it. The 990 V6, when it came out, I'm like, I don't like them. They had a pair returned at Hype. They were my size. I tried them on. I'm like, I feel like the 2002 R is more comfortable. These came out, absolutely insane colorway. The lime greens, the blue, the lighter blue, like, it just looks like an Action Bronson sneaker. For me, I've been an Action Bronson fan since Morns did a track with him. That was the first time I heard of him. Shout outs to Morns from Melbourne, an MC that he actually credits for his career to an extent, because he wasn't really taking it seriously as a professional until some kid from Melbourne reached out for him for a feature, and that kicked off his professional career. So I feel like he owes Mawns a check. So 2012 is when I first heard of Action Bronson. So for me, seeing this, knowing he was a lifelong New Balance fan and everything like that, I could not wait to get a pair. I honestly didn't think there would be as much hype as there was. I know that New Balance website is absolutely terrible for any sort of hype release, right? My issue was I slept in. I missed out. I know a lot of people that were able to cop. I was not one of them. I'm watching again, like on eBay, StockX, everything. I'm watching this shoe, trying to see if it drops to around like 350, I may get them. But these are incredible. Number 4 on the list. Number 3 on the list is a very sore subject for me. I initially didn't like these, to be fair. I don't even think I went in. I might have went in one raffle. I think I went in 5 times. Then started seeing them on feet, seeing photos, other than stock images, everything like that. And the build up for this was crazy because they were wear tested for like a couple years, and initially people thought it was a completely different colorway. It is the Jordan 4 SB. They completely retooled the shape, made it more comfortable. There's no rub on the pinky toe. Like, just that alone, you've got me. I initially wasn't crazy on the colorway, but it was the materials. Once I've seen them raw in hand, I'm like, I need that. We go down to Aaron at Fast Times, right? And Adam's like, I'm coming this time to the raffle. I'm like, yep, no worries, because I let him know it was happening. And then he got there before me, and I'm like, yo, I'm going to get some food. Do you want me to grab you something? Yep, we do that. And I was going to line back up with him, but I thought, better not be the asshole that looks like we're skipping the line, even though it's a raffle ticket anyway. And then I'm like, there's probably more chance of us winning if we're not standing right next to each other, right? Wrong. Him, the person behind him, the person behind him, and the person behind him all won. Absolutely insane. He won the SB4s right of the day. He hit me up multiple times if I wanted the RA for the Jordan 4 SB. I said, look, kickstand event, I'm moving a couple of pairs of shoes, I'll have some just cash laying around, we'll do that. Our good friend the bearded sneakerhead says, oh, you gotta give him the RA. If not, swap him for the lobsters. Adam's eyes light up like a kid on Christmas. He thinks, yes, that's a way I can finally get the orange lobsters. Because he's said to me 100 times at this point, I don't think I like them, I don't think I'm ever going to wear them. He thinks he can get the orange lobsters, even though I haven't said that. Our friend the bearded sneakerhead has said that. That's in his head now. That's the only way I'm getting the SB4s. So I went from literally that day getting the RA on them. I'm telling everyone, I'm boasting about it, everything like this. I can't wait to get them. And he takes it back because he wants the orange lobsters. Now, it's not going to happen, Adam. It's just not. Think about all the RAs I've given you. It's funny, like, I used to win all the raffles, and then he would beg me, like, come on, bro, give me the RA, give me the RA. Now, he's winning the raffles, and I'm like, on this one pair, I want the RA. But number 3 on the list, it is an incredible sneaker. Stay tuned, I guess. The saga continues. At number 2, this shoe, when it came out, I'm like, this is sneaker of the year. I battled between the top 3 for so long. The top 3 could be in any order, really. But this is what I landed on. It's the Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined. Probably one of my most worn pairs this year, just like the Fire Red the year before. Look at that grit and grime. Now, the White Cement for me is a more wearable color than the Black Cement. The Black Cement is more iconic. The White Cement is kind of like the little brother. But for me, I've said it before, that when I look down at a pair of sneakers, like a white pair of sneakers just looks better. It just does. It looks better to me. Throw in the sail, like that heel tab with the Nike Air and the sail. It's perfect. Probably why I bought 3 pairs. I was like digging around, I couldn't find them, and I was like, nah, I've got to find the pair that I've actually worn for this. But I know where one pair is, like another pair. I don't know where the other pair is. Or I'm getting that confused with the Fire Reds, and I've got 2 of these and 3 of the Fire Reds. I can't remember. That's the worn pair. That's a brand new pair. Now these were a very easy cop on the day. Plenty of stock if you wanted them. I went into Sydney on the day. I hit on my first ever Nike equal raffle. And then probably my last equal raffle win, to be honest. And then I was like, yo, let's check out Pitt Street Mall as well. And they had them just sitting there. So I grabbed another pair as well. I think I grabbed another pair online. I can't remember and I can't see them. So I could be imagining it. I know Ollie hit on a pair too. And he's like, yo, do you want another pair? And I'm like, 3 is probably enough. These are incredible. They're just... I remember back in the day, white cements just being that incredible shoe. All the MCs, as I was touring the country and doing things like that, all the elder statesmen and more profound MCs were wearing a white cement 3 or a Fire Red 4. And it stood out to me. And it was something that I always wanted. Obviously, it's an OG colorway too, so it's something I wanted. And this is just like a little spin on that. You got the wear and tear in the box. It's perfect shoe. That's why it's number 2 on the list, and could have been higher. Honestly, could have. When it initially came out, I'm just like, there's nothing that'll beat this. I know I love Jordan 3s. I know I'm biased to the Jordan 3, even though like there's little to no hype on a Jordan 3. They're perfect to me. But there can only be one winner. The 2023 best sneaker of the year. Drum roll, please. That's enough. It's the Born and Raised Dunk. That shoe is incredible. For me, when it first came out, I love the colorway blue and white. I'm a Bulldogs fan. That's one. Number 2, I'm like the little details, the nods to LA. Obviously, it's like an LA Dodgers type thing. But what really sold me was a documentary on Spanto and the whole essence of what Born and Raised is. There was a dude from Vice who was like more like a food dude on Vice, and he went around the neighborhood with Spanto and his business partner, and was just showing around the neighborhood, interacting with locals, everything, and basically giving you the overall vibe of Born and Raised. This came out like, I want to say it was like 11 years ago, 10, 11 years ago or something crazy like that. And it just so happened to pop into my algorithm. I'm glad it did. It completely changed my perspective. Like, I thought these were a good looking shoe, but once I saw that, I was sold, absolutely sold. People can say like, because he passed away, that's why it's getting mentioned. I don't think it's that at all. I just think when you look at it, you look at every other shoe that came out this year, and it was an incredible year for shoes. Like, I could have done like 100 honorable mentions. The Native Dynamics, Palomino 3s, Air Max 1 OG Big Bubble. You think about how many crazy SB Dunks came out this year. Even just like the pack that they did, the black and white, the grey gum, the white gum, like just GRs, the grey. I think the grey came out this year. Even that, it's a GR. That's an incredible shoe. SB like had the game on fire, where the Dunk and the Jordan 1 kind of fell off. The SB Dunk was on another level. Don't get me wrong, I feel like there was a bunch of pairs that were pretty underrated, like the Crenshaws and the Horitos. But if you think about the Utos, the Aprils, the Born and Raised, these, I think even Type Booth was really dope. I feel like, what am I missing? What am I forgetting? The Run the Jewels pack. But for me, like, the icing on the cake was that Born and Raised. And initially, like, they weren't going to release it because he passed away. And I think they just didn't really want that Kobe effect, you know, like, people only started going nuts for Kobe's when he passed, unfortunately. Other than that, they were just a raw performance basketball shoe. Like, I think to an extent that still has impacted this release, but just a crazy shoe. And number 1 on the list. Did it make your list? What was your list? Let me know in the comments. Drop it down there. Am I bugging on certain things? Is there something that I didn't mention? I know somebody's going to mention a Jound, a Kith, or something that... Even the J-tips. Not for me. But this has been another episode of Creased Teeth. This is the first episode of the year. It was going to be earlier, because obviously we're talking about 2023. Been under the weather. Still under the weather. But had to get it out there. And look, we got one more list looking at 2023, and then I want to do what I did last year and like what I want to see from 2024. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. We'll be back twice a week. Peace. But I might have a little break, like I said, even though I kind of already did. Who knows? PRs. The grey. Where the fuck is it? First honourable mention, this shoe caused a massive stir with the Complex Sneaker of the Year list. It is the Travis Scott Air Force One. I've literally just rearranged the